Welcome to Mental Break It Down, a podcast for therapists and the therapy curious, where we dig into all things mental health and mental health adjacent. We're so happy you're here. Let's jump in.
Why are we so serious?
I'm just waiting for you to bust up again because it's imminent.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Everyone look at the camera.
Okay, great. Okay. Welcome to Mental Break It Down. I'm Sam.
And I'm Sonia.
And today we are talking to Haylie Castillo. And we're going to get to know all about her and why she went into private practice and her experience thus far. Haylie, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So, hi, I'm Haylie. I am a licensed clinical social worker associate, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I started my private practice this year.
How exciting. How long have you been open?
I launched on March 20th of 2023. So, however many months that is.
I don't know. I just blacked out time and space.
Yes, me too.
What is that, 5 months?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
5 months.
5.5 months. Yeah.
Congratulations. That is amazing.
Thank you.
So great. So you did right out of grad school.
Yes, I did. I graduated in December. And then right out the gate, yes.
And okay, so let's just call it out. Why did you do that right after grad school? Because so many, I'm sure people have questions.
Yeah, let's be
Sure.
honest. There's mixed reactions to those of us who decide to go into private practice right out of grad school.
Yes.
Also, it's not legal in all states. So
Right.
some people
Yes.
can't do it. So yeah, what made you do it? What made you jump?
Sure. So mostly it was just the idea of freedom,
Right.
to be honest. I've always been a freedom seeker, if I can use that term.
Sure.
But yeah, and also much like you guys, this is kind of my second act. I had a career before in personal finance, and the goal was always to open up my private practice as a financial therapist. And so once I found out actually from my therapist, who was also in the same boat as us, it opened her practice right out of grad school as a second career. Once I found out from her that, in Washington State, you can do this as an associate, I was like, all right, sign me up. I don't have to wait.
No questions.
Yeah.
No trepidations, no hesitation.
Well,
Right. No worries. No nightmares.
But is that realistic? Because for some people, maybe it is. It's like, nope, I just jumped right in. Did you have concerns? What were they?
Of course. Of course, I did have concerns, right? But I think just having the clarity that this was the plan before I graduated was hugely helpful, because I was able to start putting some of the pieces in place even before I graduated in December.
Oh, yeah. Even before the first day of school, I had like my spreadsheet.
Right.
Because I, too, also wanted to jump right into private practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that definitely helped with just being able to kind of like have a plan, at least the next couple of steps, in place. Definitely helps, with anything in life, right?
Okay. So what was your first step? Because I think sometimes people don't know where to start.
Okay,
What
sure.
was your first step?
Sonia always searching for a list.
Yeah.
Well, I love a good list, a little check off, but everybody's list is different.
Sure. I mean, honestly, I'll just say this. My first step was to sign up for the Abundance Practice Party with Allison per year.
Ooh.
Honestly, I found her very close to the beginning of the whole grad school journey and through her podcast. And as soon as I found out that she and her program existed, I just knew that that was for me. And she has the steps in place. She even has like a free downloadable little checklist for you that you can do. And so for me, it was just, okay, there's my checklist.
So the structure and like the built-in kind of mentorship.
Yes.
Because it's all in that program. And I mean, we joined it recently too, just to see what all the fuss is about. Because I came across her, you recommended her. I saw her years ago. And so, yeah, having that like structure, because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
You don't know where to start.
Right. For me, it was going to be just worth the investment to just have all of that already in place. Exactly.
Because it is an investment. It is a financial investment. I don't want it to be a misconception that you can just start off with $0. There is investment,
Right.
right?
Even if
Okay.
it's minimal. 'Cause
Even
you
if
still
it's
have to become
minimal.
like, you have to have a business entity.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
get all these things in
Yes.
place.
Exactly.
EHR.
Exactly. Yeah. So most of the things were on that checklist of just get your liability insurance, get your business license, get your EIN number, your
Mhm.
I know.
NPI, like the blah blah blah,
All
and
the letters.
XYZ and the
Why are there so
QRX.
many
Yeah.
letters in this profession? There's so many
That's not
letters.
just this profession. That's just business.
Yes, that's
Right. Oh, I
And
know.
yeah, and let's be honest, in grad school, no one talks about this. And I will
Oh,
be
no.
shocked if somebody writes in and says, like, yes, you might get like a one-off webinar for an hour talking
Mhm.
about what private practice can look like. But I would be shocked if somebody reached out and said, they integrated it into my
No.
graduate program. If anything, it's the opposite. Our
Mhm.
messaging, very beginning, was very clear. Like, I hope you don't want to make any sort of comfortable living.
Oh, yes.
Try not to get burnt out, but it will happen.
Yes.
Mhm.
And don't talk about money. And that is really integrated into our profession.
Yes.
And I find it interesting, you being a financial therapist, right? Because to be able to become a private practice owner and make it a success, you do have to talk, think, and discuss money.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Yes.
You have to figure out like what your fees are going to be, how that can
Mhm.
be sustainable, how
Mhm.
you want to grow, how you want
Yeah.
to structure things.
Yes. Being any kind of entrepreneur brings all the money stuff up, right?
And some
Yeah.
of us are bad at business.
Yeah.
Not bad at business.
Well,
We're
some
not
of us don't know.
educated at business.
Some of us don't know. You
Some
don't
of
know
it-
where to start.
I think a lot of it is just simply that is just like you haven't been given the tools.
Mhm.
Don't count yourself out as being bad at using the tools if you haven't been given the tools.
Yes. And I'm
Right?
trying to stop myself at saying bad and good.
Yeah.
Because it is, it's just Google. Google talking to mentors, right? You follow the trail. You're like, oh, I need an EIN. Okay, but then what is this number? And then I need that for a
Mhm.
group. And then you just
Mhm.
follow the trail down.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So for me, it was very much, at that point in my life, I was kind of sick and tired of being by myself and not having someone mentor me. And so I was like, I'm going to do it this way this time. I'm going to invest in a community and a mentorship program because I don't want to be by myself.
Yeah, this work can be really isolating,
Yeah.
especially post-COVID. A lot of us are working telehealth and we're doing it out of
Mhm.
our own homes or in an office space, but by ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you found your community. And
Yeah.
now we're in community,
Mhm.
right?
Well, that also speaks to intentionality because it's easy. Well, at our level, you do need a clinical supervisor,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It's required. But even outside of that one other person, if you're not careful, you can silo yourself and isolate really easy, especially if it's
Absolutely.
all telehealth. So then, like, what, once, twice a month, you're talking to one person. Other than that, you're by yourself.
Mhm.
That's not wise. It's not good
No.
for you.
No.
Or your
It's
clients.
not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not healthy. I don't
Mm-mm.
think so.
We're
I
wired
mean,
for connection.
yeah, we absolutely are. Yeah.
So I'm curious. Now we're near 6 months into your private practice.
Mhm.
What have you learned? What surprised you?
So many things. No, not really, actually. Yeah, it was, I will say, it was really helpful to just have those mentors and that community call in that support because I didn't feel too much like I didn't feel like I felt when I became a mom. I'll say it that way. I was like, what am I doing? Where do I go? How do I do that? Yeah. I didn't feel that. I felt so much more held and supported.
Mm.
Now, having said that, yeah, there were some surprises. Still, I'm sure some down the road as well. But honestly, if I can say, like, it was a happy surprise in the sense of finding other people like in this same mentality, in this doing the same thing, right? The details are different, but like y'all, the details are different, but like we're on a very similar journey.
Yeah.
And like being able to find those people throughout, even before I started, but then especially after starting my business, has just been a really nice surprise.
Yeah. I think it's hard to do this on your own. It's really hard. And I think part of the reason why Sam and I went into business together is so we could have another person just in the building because some sessions are hard, some days are hard.
Mhm.
And like, who do you go to for a quick consultation or just as human to human, you're struggling with
Mhm.
something. And yeah, community is important. It is absolutely, I don't want to say impossible, but it's really damn hard to do this work by yourself. Even just with a clinical supervisor.
Yeah.
Because day to day stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always so curious because I mean, Sonia and I had big ups and big downs during grad school. So I always like to hear about other people's stories.
All right, we're going there.
We're going
Let's
there.
go
And
there.
I'm not going to make you like do a whole reverse back into childhood. But what was the catalyst of you going back, like going to grad school, and how was that experience for you?
So the catalyst was the fact that I wanted to be able to do financial therapy. And my passion for that came from my own experience of growing up in a very patriarchal household, very patriarchal community where women don't do money, women don't do math, women don't need control over their lives. And then getting out of that, very much finding a life that was very different from that and finding so much agency in my life through like healing my relationship with money. I wanted to do that for others as well. And so I found financial therapy. Yes, it is a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I want to do. And so that was the catalyst. How do I get there? Oh, I need to go to grad school to get my therapy degree, right? Okay, let's see if we can do this. So my husband and I kind of restructured things and made it happen. So
I am so envious that you already knew your niche before you even went to grad
Because a
school.
lot of us struggle. We're like, oh, we want to be therapists.
Yeah.
And then we don't know what that looks like after school, what we want to do. We don't know our niche. And then we struggle. We flounder a lot.
yeah.
Some of us don't find that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've been told, at least Sam and I in our program, you should be able to help everybody and anybody.
Oh, yes.
And for
Which can be
you,
harmful.
which can be harmful because that's really difficult. You cannot be everything to everyone.
No.
And for you, you already knew what you wanted to do. I'm so jealous, Haylie.
How amazing.
Yeah.
And good for you.
And good for you. And great for your clients.
Honestly, that was a surprise to go back into grad school and realize that I was so unique in that I had such a clear goal and direction that I was going in. That was a surprise.
Did that make grad school difficult?
In some ways, yes, very
Mhm.
much so. Just because I was very different from most of the other people in my cohort, right? Like,
And then it's like a fight because they're like, oh, you should learn how to do all of this
Right.
and be good at all of this. And you're like, but I want to do this one thing.
right.
And be really good at this one thing.
Right.
Yeah. How was your grad school experience?
It was fine.
You're really selling it, Haylie. You are really selling it.
I
Let's
understand
get real.
that. I
Let's get real.
understand that it was fine.
It was fine.
It really was just
It was
fine.
It was an experience you had to do.
Most I did, and then it was awful.
Oh no.
I think so many people can relate.
It was fine, and then it was awful. Yeah, it was very much. I mean, it definitely helped going into it, as we've discussed, with the end goal in mind, because that was the carrot. That was the thing, right? Like
Kept you going.
it kept me going. I was gonna get there, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, the journey through was not great. It was not, it wasn't awful most of the time, but it was just kind of the thing that you have to do in order to get to the thing that I wanted to do,
Necessary.
which is so much like life. So many things in life are that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for me, I don't know why, but when I went into grad school, for some reason I had this vision that I was going to learn everything.
Ooh. Read every single word out of every single textbook.
I was going to do that, but also we were going to cover every topic. I was going to be a fully formed therapist when I got out. I do not know why I thought that. So the first year was disappointing.
Yeah.
In that you realize you only have enough time and energy to focus on overarching overviews,
Yes.
theories of things.
Yes.
Right? You can't get into the nitty gritty. You
No.
can't talk about private practice. You can't talk about all of these things. And that was, I had to almost grieve that. I was very disappointing because I was like, oh, then it's on me, right?
Yeah.
It's on me to figure out what I actually want to do, to learn more, to read. And you can't really do that during grad school
No.
because you
Who
are just
has the
drowning.
time?
You're drowning in reading assignments and writing assignments and practicum and all of these things. So that was,
Discussion posts.
oh, gross. Just don't
Those-
ever say those words together to me again.
I don't know if that's an online thing only. I don't know if people that are in person grad school have to do discussion
know.
posts. But
I don't
those-
think so. They were in lieu of class time.
Yeah, discussion posts.
Shut your mouth.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, did you do an in-person program?
No, I was completely online.
During the
It was
pandemic.
during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so how did you connect with classmates or?
Some, yeah. That was probably the most disappointing thing for me. I definitely thought, whereas I didn't think that I was going to learn everything that I needed to because financial therapy is so new. I knew that, okay, it'll be a general type of degree. Okay, I'll be learning focusing a lot of things that I don't really feel like apply, but that's okay. I can navigate that. I was really hoping to form more connections with my colleagues or soon to be colleagues.
Yeah.
Right. And there was some pleasant interactions and, we're still connected like on social media and that sort of thing, but not really in the deeper sense of, I guess what I had in my mind.
Yeah.
Well, like you have that vision of like almost like high school, right? So you go to school all 4 years with this cohort.
Right.
And sometimes that's just not how it pans out. And
Right.
to be honest, like in our program, it was like mostly, like you said, second career. So we're all older.
Yeah.
We have families. We have responsibilities. so-
Everyone's busy.
Yeah.
Nobody has
busy.
time for you.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
It's like I have to get to my job or I have, kids or a family or a spouse or whatever that looks like. It's so no wonder you've worked so hard to create community post grad school.
Yeah. I guess I'm just kind of realizing that that definitely was a component of it, I guess, too.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious, what was the reaction from like friends, family, loved ones once you said, I'm going to graduate and then do my own thing? I'm not going to go work at an agency. I'm not going to work at a group practice. Just do my thing.
So I'll even give you, so my community back home, not necessarily my family, but community back home, small town Georgia, are just the sweetest people in the world, but they also kind of didn't know what being a mental health professional was in general, just because that's not really too much on the radar. It's probably changing a lot. It's been a minute since I've been back. So yeah, they were just kind of, we don't really know what you're doing.
We're fine doing whatever this is.
Exactly. So yeah.
Okay, but that's great. It wasn't like, don't do it.
No, well, because they didn't really know what I was doing.
Fair.
Are you dying? No, great. Keep going. Well, looking back on grad school, what do you wish you knew before you jumped in? What would have been helpful for you?
That it was going to be really, really difficult and not fun.
Yes, thank you.
Not fun.
What part is not fun?
What was the least fun?
Ooh, probably my internship. We are spilling some tea today, but
There's nothing like being a scared, shaky first timer. Oh my God.
well, I just
what was
didn't
your
have
experience?
great internships.
Oh,
You said
Unfortunately.
internships.
So
you had more than
so
one.
My program, which I'm not sure if this is unique or not. Maybe y'all can tell me, but my program had it where for 2 semesters we had a generalist internship somewhere. I did mine at a community mental health center, and then the last 2 semesters we did a specialization internship, and so it was at a different place, and I did mine at a private group practice.
So you had so many clients then.
Well, that was the idea.
Okay.
Yeah, but I had a few, but community mental health wasn't really what I wanted to do. I learned a lot from both. I will say that. Of course, it's a mixed bag. Everything in life is a mixed bag, right? But yeah, my internships more than anything else showed me what I didn't want to do
Fair.
Gave you
rather than what
clarity.
I did want to do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, our program was not like that. We could stay at one internship site.
Essentially for a year.
Yeah,
For the whole
essentially
time.
for a year, or you could switch if you weren't getting enough hours or client
Or have
work.
2 of you.
Yeah, but yeah, we had a great internship site. It's just
Mhm.
grad school was challenging, but I think, and I think I can speak for Sam as well because we've talked about it. It does give you clarity on what you want to do and what you don't want to
Yeah.
do, what you're good at, and maybe what isn't your therapeutic journey.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you do have to work with a whole bunch of different people to see
Mhm.
if that is what
Mhm.
is like not just for you, but for the clients too. If you're not really
Right.
feeling it and this is not your niche and that you're not jazzed about it and passionate about it, it's going to come out in your work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
It
can't be
doesn't
everything
make
to
being an
everyone.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Well,
It doesn't
and I
make
think
internship any easier though.
Yeah.
I think one of the main things was that, especially at the group practice, I just didn't feel supported
Mm,
either.
that sucks
Yeah.
because
I know
you
that's
would
the only
think,
word
yeah, I think our experience was much different, and it
I'm so
being
glad.
yeah, and I think
Honestly.
having
got
that
very lucky.
support really helped us to be able to do this.
Mm.
But yeah, when you're brand new and you don't know what this work looks like,
Mhm.
not having the support of people that have been doing it longer than
Mhm.
you,
Mhm.
how scary.
Yeah, I floundered a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
You
that
know.
overall ended up making you stronger or like what meaning did you make from
Mm,
that?
Yeah. I guess the meaning that I made from it was really just the fact that, not everybody's cut out to be a business owner,
Mhm.
and that's fine,
Yeah.
but especially coming from kind of the finance background, very much relationship with money being top of mind because that's the work that I wanted to be able to do. I came into it, or kind of navigated my entire grad school with that in mind. And I saw a lot of, unhealthy money beliefs played out.
You're like, I am definitely needed everywhere.
Right. Yeah.
That's job security.
Right. Yeah. So I guess that was some meaning that I took as like that this is definitely needed. There's a need for it. There's a market for it. However, also the meaning of like kind of you don't have to help everybody. You don't have to fix every problem
Mhm.
type of thing. I learned that. I got to practice that with my internships.
Knowing where you don't have
Knowing
any
where I
control.
don't need to step in.
Yeah.
I don't need to step in and change anything here. I can just kind of do what I need to do in order to get the thing that I need,
Mhm.
and there's no problem doing that.
No, it's
No.
yeah, it's a stepping stone
Yeah.
to the next thing.
Yeah.
And what a healthy outlook, especially because as a profession, we're helpers.
Right.
And so we're like, I can help everybody all the time, no
Right.
matter what.
Right.
Because you want to. You're here. Your passion
Mhm.
is to help people improve their lives
Yes.
and understand themselves. And so it can be very difficult when you're watching somebody have a difficult time,
Yeah.
but it's not your place.
Right. So that was really, thank you for giving me the opportunity to reflect on that because, that was very empowering for me to be able to practice that in real time
Mhm.
of like, that's not something that I need to hold.
Mhm. That's not the space for you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I have so many questions. Okay. So if someone listening wants to jump into private practice right out of grad school
Or whatever.
or whenever, right? Because
Yeah.
some people do
Yeah.
wait decades maybe
Or can't.
or can't. If they're considering private practice, what's one piece of advice you would share?
Find your people. Find your people. Find your community. Call in support. Find the mentors. They are out there. They are out there.
Well, how do I do that?
Sure. I mean, start small. I mean, for me, social media has been huge, continues to be a huge like support in my life. Like I've just found you find one person on Instagram that you vibe with and you love the way that they exist and their messages, and like look at who they follow and who they're friends
Ooh,
with.
breadcrumbs.
Yes. And that's how I've done it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many people. Look who they're interacting with. And just like kind of sidle up and sit down at the table. Like, people are so generous, and so welcoming. The right people, your people, they will be. They will be.
Mm-hmm. That's a good lesson too. You can't just force relationship.
Right.
And somebody will show you whether or not they're going to be a good support for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And definitely believe people when they show you who they are.
But I mean, that's a good lesson too, because it can, so first of all, fresh out of school, right? Starting a business, all terrifying stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Getting your hours, doing all that good stuff. And then also we have to be vulnerable with other people outside. Gross. I'm already doing a ton of scary stuff and you want me to talk to people?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's that vulnerability piece. It's learning to be okay if they're not going to vibe with you, but still continually reaching out, be like, who doesn't love to hear, hey, let's be friends. I think you're rad.
Yeah.
Can we just get together and see if this vibes? I love the work that you're doing. I
Yeah.
appreciate you. First of all, that's just a little bit of an ego stroke and we love
Absolutely.
it. But
Yeah.
also it's a authentic place.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, the mentorship and just community, not even, it's peer-to-peer
It's
too.
peer-to-peer connection because I think something one of our professors said is, yes, your family and your friends can understand and sympathize with what you do, that you had a hard day and, try to comfort you through that. But it really is your colleagues and your peers who really know what a hard day means when it comes to your work. And so you need each other. We need each other.
Oh, God. Yeah.
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 Because this work is very weird.
Yes.
It's so strange.
And amazing.
It's strange and amazing. And you can try to explain it all you want to people who don't do it. And they'll sort of get it. And it's not their job to get it. But when you actually have peers that you can just say a couple words and they kind of really know what you're going through.
Yeah.
It's so soothing. It's so great.
Yeah. And I love that you said you used social media to connect. It's here. You might as well.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere. Instagram is here to stay, I think. Maybe it's Threads
We'll
now.
see.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? The future
knows?
is who knows?
Yeah. But you've really used it. And would you say that you feel like you have a good, strong community around you right now?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Well, and also people use social media, or at least my people, because they're very community minded. They use social media as a starting point, right? It doesn't stay there. They're planning events. They're planning, happy hours. They're planning get-togethers that are in real life, right? And so then it's not just on the phone, it's actually in person.
It's a real investment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I just not be Debbie Downer, but go there?
Let's do it.
Have you ever regretted going into private practice?
No.
No.
Look at this. She knew what she wanted years ago. She's
No,
still
I
just
know,
not
but
yet.
we all have moments because at the end of the day, you did
Not
say,
yet.
right?
I'll say not yet.
Perfect. 6 months in, right?
Yeah.
But I just want, because there are very real hard moments because
Yes.
you have to not only put on the therapist hat, but you also have to put on
All the
the
others.
business. And so what if you don't have a business background? Those moments are really hard.
Yes.
So, okay, you never regretted it.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But yeah, I definitely know that it's all a journey. So yeah.
Maybe not regret. Have you had feelings of doubt?
Not yet.
Okay, I love this.
Me too,
So here's
because
the thing is because
I have
we're
doubts.
yeah,
I had
well,
doubt.
Everybody has. I'm not going to say everybody have doubts, but it also should be celebrated that some people just really are just yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like,
Amazing.
whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't know about you, but it can feel like if you feel like this was a good thing for you and whatever it is that you're doing is just aligned and there's no regrets or doubts or whatnot, sometimes that can be a weird thing to say out loud.
Yes, absolutely.
Because people are like, that's not true.
Right. Yeah.
I have doubts. Why don't you have doubts?
Right. Yeah. Are you just giving us the shiny, happy version of
Sugarcoat
you?
it?
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
No, I
that's
am-
totally fair.
I'm here for it. You feel good. You feel confident. It's going great. I'm here for that.
And I think that we need to celebrate that
Mm-hmm.
too, because then somebody who is maybe feeling a little bit more doubt or even pangs of regret, they can be like, well, I can still make the best of this or keep hoping, or maybe this isn't for me. And everybody is different.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
Well, thank you.
It actually makes me really happy because you're just like,
does.
I'm so solidified in what I'm doing. This is where I should be.
Yeah.
That's so rare and beautiful.
I'm just a unicorn.
No, it's
it.
great. I think it gives a lot of us hope because you start out and you don't know what it is going to look like. You know, Sam and I were like, oh, we'll launch our website. It's go time.
Well, that's another whole piece. Like,
Yeah,
the marketing hat,
Oh
gross.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah. And to hear you say, no, it's been great so far. And yeah, no doubt.
You are a unicorn. Because also you have this niche that's like, it's not new, but it's not known, and it's still being figured out, and the language around it is still being developed, and the systems and the understanding. And so you're doing a lot of scary new things that other people aren't doing.
Yeah. I've finally gotten into a place in my life where I am embracing that uniqueness. And it does feel good, I'm going to say. It does feel good because there's been many, 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 many years, decades of my life where it did not feel good to be the different one.
Fair.
So, yeah.
And now
it
it's
feels
a power
really
for
good.
you.
Yeah. It feels really good to have kind of alchemized that.
Well,
We celebrate it.
yes. Wholeheartedly. I love it. I love the doubt. I love the confidence. Whatever you have, I love it.
I think it's also important to see women, moms, people from all different backgrounds and cultures doing the damn thing, being business owners, entrepreneurs, therapists. I mean, you can wear multiple hats and succeed in it and not have regrets and doubts. It is totally possible. And again, I celebrate that. I wish that for more of us.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, Haylie.
Yes, absolutely.
And if anybody wants to connect with you, where can you be found?
Sure. So you can find me at my website. I also have a newsletter and a blog at CastilloFinancialTherapy.com, and then on Instagram at C_financial_therapy.
And we'll link to everything in the show notes.
Thank you so much for
Thanks,
spending
Haylie.
time with us.
Bye. Mental Breakdown is produced and edited by Sam and Sonia. Our logo was created by the amazing Art of Andoid. If you have any questions, comments, or have a topic you want discussed on the podcast, email us at mentalbreakitdown@gmail.com or connect with us on Instagram at mentalbreakitdown. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing said in this podcast constitutes personal or professional consultation, therapy, diagnosis, or creates a counselor-client relationship. It is not intended to provide medical or mental health advice. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are theirs alone. Thanks for listening. Bye.